So I feel for you, but it's still a good exercise to go through. Look at the station set up here. I have a sheet pan up top. I've got a cutting board. I got another sheet pan here. Towel underneath. Chef's knife and boning knife. And brain. Or half a brain. I think I have half left. I spent a lot of it in college. So what you're going to do is we're going to have the chickens over here. And then first thing you're going to do is take your chicken and rinse it in the sink here. Okay? So these are naturally raised chickens. They are not, these are the good ones. So we'll give them a quick rinse. Make sure you get all the deodorant off. Clean the cavity, inside out, everything. And then you're going to bring it over to your station. And have sheet tray. And then you're going to take some paper towels and dry it off. Why do we dry the bird off? Remember the fish? Why do we dry the fish off? Dang it. Look it up on your blog real quick. So it doesn't slide around on the cutting board? Right? So you want to make sure it's nice and dry. And then put it on, and then you're gonna, next thing you're gonna do after you rinse and dry, you're going to orient yourselves. So if this is a long neck, usually they're not that long. Kind of scary. But you're gonna orient yourself. So you sit the bird up. And I know it's a little bit more personal now, isn't it? So when you look at a bird in then you put it up like this, walking around, it really gets personal. Like you can see that, right? It feels a little different now that you know that you can kind of connect with it, doesn't it? It's not just a thing of saran wrap. It looks just like, what are you looking at? So this is obviously the back where my thumb is moving, and then the breasts are up here. You're going to have it breast side down, legs towards you, and the first cut you're going to do are called safety cuts. So this is the drumstick. And then you'll see these little flaps of skin right here. You're going to cut right through and just adjust the skin. Open that up. And you're going to hyperextend the femur. Okay? The reason why you do that is because it leaves you now a nice perch to work on. Everybody see that? It's nice and flat here. Doesn't move around. Next thing you do after you hyperextend the femur is get rid of the excess fat. And this one doesn't have a Pope's nose, but there's a scent gland back here where all the tail feathers come out. And what's the purpose of that Pope's nose with the tail feathers? Any guesses on what the purpose of that is? Nice and loud? Scent glands. What do you think that's for? Mating. That's exactly what it's for. So tail feathers are for mating, right? So the point we're saying that is we don't want that in the stock. Because the scent gland makes a very bitter element in the stock. So you want to get that out of there. You don't want that in your stock. After you get all that taken care of on the back side, then you flip it around to the front. And we're going to chop off this neck, because wow, did they leave a long neck on here. The neck is actually quite tasty. We'll save that for stock, because that's a freebie. And then you're going to work your way in here. You're going to take the wingettes off. The way you're going to do that is, you'll see down here some skin. You're just going to cut there, the skin. Again, hyperextend the wingette. And it's a ball and socket joint. So basically we're separating the ball and socket joint. It's very easy to do. Okay, so you're just going to hyperextend it, pop the bone out. There it is right there. There's the ball part of it. Just cut right through it. Bam. That's great for stock. Lots of good gelatin in it. Once you do it enough times, you'll just cut right through it. Then we're going to remove the wings. So we removed wingettes, and now the wings. Again, we're going to cut through this flabby skin right here. Expose the joint. Hyperextend. Okay, there we go. There's the ball. There's the socket. We're going to cut right through. And there's we'll save these for a wing party. We'll have that when you guys aren't here. Yeah. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is go for the there it is, the wishbone. Okay, wishbone's up here. We're going to cut on either side of the wishbone. cut there. Get our fingers up there. I'm going on the outside of the wishbone. I'm going to follow all the way up to the top. Release the wishbone from the top, and then I'm going to pull down like I'm in Vegas, jackpot, and out pops the wishbone. There's the wishbone. Okay, that's great for stock. Okay, you will see there's like blood in there. There's probably some blood and veins left in there. That's normal. Okay. Next thing we're going to do, you're going to leave these drumettes attached to the breast. These are the two sides of the breast, makes up the whole thing. Once we have the wishbone out, it allows us to get more yield on the breast meat, which makes you more money. That's why we remove the wishbone. Next thing we're going to do is you're going to feel on here, the top, there's a keel bone right here. You hear that? There's a bone that runs right down here. It's kind of like the manubrium. For us, it's right here. And so we're going to take your boning knife now, and you're going to cut all the way on one side of that, the manubrium. And I'll show you what it looks like when we get down there.
Doesn't matter what side you cut on.
Whatever you're comfortable with. But you're going to trim all the way down. And don't do deep cuts here, just shallow cuts. You're trying to separate it from the bone. And you'll see the maneuver. See that white part right there? That's the cartilage, and here's the bone right here. So we got right in there. And then you're just going to walk this long, shallow cuts all the way down. Releasing the breast off the rib cage. You're going to follow this bone right here. On this side you can see it. This bone. You're going to follow that all the way down to the joint. Make sure your wingette is on with the breast, and then you're going to cut right through the joint right there. And there is our first Statler breast. There's one. Okay. Then we'll do the other side. You can see we just peeled off all the bone. Now we're going to go on the other side of this bone and make sure we capture all this meat. We don't want to leave any meat on the carcass. A lot of people will just cut straight down and they'll leave this big chunk of meat on there. So make sure you take that with one of the breasts. And then you can get yourself comfortable where you can follow the manubrium all the way back. Oh my gosh, are you taping this? It's going too fast.
Taylor, are you taking pictures?
Okay, and again, we're going to follow that same bone down right here to the joint. Make sure our wingette is out front. And we're going to cut through the joint. Okay, there's our second Statler breast. And there's how much meat is left on there? Not that much, right? Definitely going to send my kids to Harvard.
We'll have college funds.
My grandkids' college fund?
That's what he's always saying.
Go catch 'em. So now what you're going to, after you do that, you're going to flip it over this side. The drums, the legs are going to be facing to your left. You're going to grab onto the handle. You're going to lift it up, and you'll see it'll pop up this muscle that's right here. You see it? It's a little, looks like a mosquito bite right here. That's the best.
It's a large mosquito.
Thank you. Well, I moved here from Vermont, so. So what you're going to do is you're going to make an incision right in front of that muscle, or mosquito bite. And you're going to take your thumb, and you're going to scoop out that muscle that sits inside a pocket. I'll show you what it looks like. Scoop it out, open it. What? You see the pocket? The bony pocket right there? And then here's the oyster muscle right there. It's one of the most delicious parts of the chicken. So once you scoop the oyster out, then you're just going to clean, go underneath the thigh bone all the way down. And there's your leg thigh quarter, okay, with the oyster muscle attached. Same thing on the other side. You're going to cut in front of the oyster muscle, and it's basically right across from it. There's two that sit right here. So you cut in the front here, scoop the oyster mussel out. There's the scoop. Take it out. And then you're left with, there's two leg thigh quarters with the oyster mussel attached. Then you'll take the bones, stock, boom. From here, it's super easy to separate the thigh from the drumstick by locating this fat line right here. Take your knife, you're going to go on the drumstick side of it, on the fat, and just cut straight down. It'll always cut through for you. So then you have a drumstick and a thigh. Same here. Find that line, cut on the drumstick side of that line. You're always going to cut through. Drumstick and thigh. And that's called 8-way chicken. So carcass with wingettes and the breasts, Statler breasts, thighs, drumsticks, trim, and then this is for the wing party. That's it. And then up here we'll have a sheet pan for the meat, and a bone bucket, and then a wing bucket, and then we'll break it down. Then what we're going to do after class, or right after that, is I want to show you how to saute the chicken, and then you'll saute, and then on Wednesday we'll use your legs and thighs to show you how to braise. So we'll do dry heat cooking on Monday, and then moist heat cooking on Wednesday. So make sure you read about that. We're going to braise. Using first the dry heat and then switching